Picture this, a single piece of paper sliding across a mahogany desk in South Yorkshire. The ink is barely dry, the room is silent, but the implications are deafening. Something very strange is happening behind the scenes, something that suggests the pieces on the chessboard are moving faster than we realised. We're not talking about a rumour whispered in a pub, we are talking about an official move. A bid has been lodged. The target, a player who has already caused us pain, a man who knows exactly how to find the back of the net against the Red Dragons. The window is closing, the clock is ticking down to that February deadline, and the powers that be at the racecourse are making their play. But before we unveil the name on that contract, we have to look at the bigger picture. From a historic pilgrimage to Poland that connects the soul of our club to the continent, to a secret battle at the training ground where legends are fighting for their shirts. Stay with me, because what is happening right now isn't just about transfers, it's about ambition, it's about the Premier League dream. And it all starts with this bid.
Right, let's get into the thick of it. We need to talk about something that goes far beyond the white lines of the pitch. You know, sometimes football can feel like a business, especially with the Hollywood lights shining on us. But then a story drops that reminds you exactly why we love this game. It reminds you of the DNA of this club. We have just received confirmation of a fixture that is going to be absolutely massive for the culture of Wrexham AFC. We are packing our bags for the summer of 2026. The destination? Krakow, Poland. We are set to face Wisla Krakow on July 11th at the Analyse Arena. Now, on the surface, you might say, Rodrigo, it's just a pre-season friendly, calm down. But look closer. This is a celebration of survival. This is a meeting of two clubs that looked into the abyss, saw the darkness of bankruptcy and said, not today. We all remember the dark days at the racecourse. We remember 2011. We remember the buckets, the trust, the community refusing to let the club die. Well, Wisla Krakow has a mirror image of that soul. In 2019, the 13-time Polish champions were on the brink, gone, finished. And who saved them? The fans. A massive crowdfunding effort, a mobilisation of the people. This match is celebrating their 120th anniversary, but it is celebrating our shared resilience. There is a profound historical link here that makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. We are talking about the Penley Hospital in Wrexham, which supported Polish soldiers and civilians after the Second World War. There is a literal bond of blood and history between our town and their country. Alfred Konkiewicz, a legend of their club and a hero of the Polish army, is buried right here in Wrexham soil. When Mickey Thomas, absolute legend, talks about this, you can hear the emotion. He said he is delighted to see us back at a level where we connect with European clubs. And he's right, it shows how far we have climbed. Jaroslav Królewski, the Wisla owner, put it perfectly. He said football cannot function without a trust and a genuine partnership with the fans. That is the truth. That is the Wrexham way. That is the Wisla way. This isn't just a kickabout in the sun. It's a handshake between two survivors. It is proof that you can rebuild without losing your identity. I don't know you, but that makes me incredibly proud to wear this badge.
Now let's bring her back home. Let's talk about the graft. Because while we dream of Europe and the Premier League, the work is done in the mud, on cold afternoons where there are no cameras, just the sound of boots hitting the ball. There was a fascinating clash in the Central League, our reserves and youth blending together, against Bolton Wanderers. It finished 1-1, but the scoreline hides the real story. The story is the team sheet.
Danny Ward, Aaron James, Ryan Barnett, Elliot Lee, and yes, Super Paul Mullin. Seeing these names in the reserve fixture tells you two things. One, The gaffer, Phil Parkinson, is absolutely ruthless about match fitness. He demands sharpness. 2, we have incredible depth, but even the gods of the racecourse have to earn their minutes. The match itself was a proper contest. We broke the deadlock 37 minutes in, and the quality was undeniable. It was Mullin, who else, delivering a delicious cross, and on the end of it, J. Rodriguez, the veteran, found the net. It's good to see Rodriguez on the score sheet, wearing the armband, leading by example. That connection between Mullin and Rodriguez is something we need to keep an eye on. If they can replicate that chemistry in the Championship, we are laughing. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Bolton hit back just before the break through Deshaun Lawrence. It was a lapse, a moment where we switched off, and at this level, even in the Central League, you get punished. The second half was a war of attrition. We saw young Harry Ashfield making runs, trying to force the issue. We saw Barnett pinging balls over the top. It was frantic, it was visceral. In the dying minutes, Ashfield almost won it with a dramatic effort, but the Bolton keeper stood tall. Why does this matter? Why am I analysing a 1-1 reserve draw? Because of the hunger. You had senior pros like Lee and Mullin out there putting in a shift alongside the under-18s. That is the culture Phil Parkinson has built. No egos. You work for the team. You work for the batch. It also highlights a slight worry. We created chances. We dominated periods of pressure, but we didn't kill the game. We let them back in. That has been a recurring theme sometimes, hasn't it? We need to be more clinical. We need that killer instinct. And that, my friends, leads us perfectly into the news that has just dropped. The news that suggests we are about to solve that problem with a checkbook.
Picture the scene. It's late. The kind of night where the blue light of your smartphone is the only thing illuminating the room as you refresh the feed for the 100th time. The transfer window. It's a strange, intoxicating beast, innit? It's a dance of shadows and whispers. 1 minute it's silent. The next, the air in North Wales feels different. You can feel a shift in the atmosphere. And finally, that heavy silence has been broken. Not with a maybe or a perhaps, but with something concrete. Something that could change the entire complexion of our season.
Football League World has pulled back the curtain on an exclusive that has sent a genuine shiver through the EFL. Wrexham AFC haven't just made an inquiry, they've put the cards firmly on the table. A formal bid has been submitted for Barnsley's prize asset, Davis Keillor-Dunn. Just let that settle for a moment. We aren't just window shopping or kicking tyres anymore. We've walked into the room, looked them in the eye and made our move. February 2nd is looming large on the calendar. That deadline is like a ticking clock echoing in the back of every supporter's mind. We're sitting 6th in the Championship, a position that felt like a fever dream only a few years ago. The playoffs are right there, shimmering on the horizon. The dream of back-to-back-to-back promotions, the unthinkable climb to the Premier League, is no longer a fantasy discussed over a pint. It's a tangible reality. But we've felt the gaps lately, haven't we? With James McLean and Andy Cannon departing the Stock Kairas, there's been a certain quietness in the dressing room and a void on the pitch. We needed a reaction, a spark to reignite the engine. And this bid, this is a lightning bolt. Davis Keillor-Dunn, 28 years old, a man operating at the very peak of his powers. If you've watched him for Barnsley this season, you'll know he's a bit of a ghost in the final third. One moment he's drifting between the lines, the next the ball is in the back of the net. 11 goals in 23 matches from an attacking midfield role isn't just good form, it's a predator's instinct. We know that instinct all too well, don't we? Think back to New Year's Day, Barnsley 2, Wrexham 1. It was Keillor-Dunn who delivered the dagger to our hearts that afternoon. He haunted us. He showed us exactly what we were missing. And as the old saying goes, if you can't find a way to stop them, you bring them into the fold. But here's where the intrigue deepens. The powers that be in South Yorkshire are currently huddled away, weighing up our offer.
We don't know the exact figure on the cheque just yet, but we know the weight of the ambition behind it. We aren't hunting in the bargain bins anymore. We are actively trying to dismantle our rivals by taking their best pieces. Of course, a player of his quality doesn't stay a secret for long. Blackburn Rovers, Middlesbrough, Preston North End, the Vultures are circling. They see the same goals, the same versatility and the same drive that we do. But do they have the soul of this project? Do they have the sheer relentless momentum that is currently carrying this club forward? I have my doubts. There's a growing sense that Keillor-Dunn has outgrown Oakwell. He looks ready for the grander stage of the Championship, ready for a spotlight that can handle his talent. And let's be honest, there is no spotlight in the EFL right now warmer or more intense than the one shining on the racecourse ground. This is a statement of intent. After a January that felt a little too quiet for comfort, the board has shown its hand. They are backing the gaffer. They see the Premier League glimmering on the horizon, and they are reaching out to grab it. It's bold, it's calculated, and it's exactly the story we've been waiting to tell.